Hey everybody, welcome to the Scarred Thumb Podcast. I'm your host, David. Hey, JBB, good to see you. Yeah, the Toho has I think it's Toho is the actual name of it, has a pretty awesome soundtrack, in my opinion. Very, very cool. Some of the rock remixes that they make are pretty awesome as well. Definitely, definitely worth giving a listen to. Well, that's actually one of the things that some of these smups are known for is having some pretty cool soundtracks. But today we're gonna be talking about several topics. But first, let's start it in a game that I've been obsessing with lately, and that is Helldivers 2. Now, this was from last week. This is Helldivers is now the first game ever published by PlayStation to pass 100K concurrent players on Steam. Of course, this has just been climbing and climbing since then. Now reaching up to 400, over 400K, could potentially hit 500,000. Yep, we're grinding early on Sunday, man. 500,000 players it could hit. That's assuming it can actually get its servers working. But we're getting into it. Some Helldivers news. Hey, what's up, Silver Bishop? Good to see you. So this is Helldivers is too successful for its own good. This is they've been having some issues. They've been doing extremely well, but at the same time, they have been struggling powerfully as they try to get their servers to actually function properly. This is from PC Gamer by Jody McGregor. Helldivers 2 is too successful for its own good. Problems with rewards not unlocking was mitigated but not resolved. So this is one of the issues that they had to begin with, is that it is getting so busy that stuff is breaking, essentially. It doesn't get much worse for multiplayer launch, Fraser Brown wrote on the release of Helldivers 2, mentioning issues like broken matchmaking, frequent crashes, kernel-level anti-cheat system that everyone hates. The developers at Arrowhead have been working to rectify the issues. According to an update from CEO John, I think Pedestal, 3 hotfixes deploying during a recent period of server maintenance have dealt with at least some of the problems, but not necessarily all. And it is still happening, by the way. Fun fact. But not all. Explains our services are well as our partner services have a rate limiter that denies connections beyond a volume per minute to prevent the entire system from failing. As PlayStation's biggest PC launch, Helldivers hit that limit hard, and which was responsible for multiple problems. The limit has then been doubled from 100 logins per minute to 10,000 logins per minute to 20,000, and the total server capacity from 250,000 concurrent players to 360,000, a capacity that Pilstead says was reached 5.5 minutes after the servers went back online. If you're still having trouble connecting, that's why. Though at least the increased servers to require less retries to get in. Just insane. It's going to be insanely popular as a word of mouth. Yeah, it does have the exact opposite problem with Suicide Squad, as nobody wants to play that game. But everybody, word of mouth spreading, and then a lot of people are getting into Helldivers, trying to get their friends to play. This is definitely a game that has that's been sort of started out kind of decently. I had like 100K, like you could see in this first clip, and then like it's building up to like 360,000, 250,000. Please once again accept our sincerest apologies as they're trying to get it done. This is another thing from IGN. Apologies for login issues, hundreds of thousands flooding the server. This is by Wesley and Poole. He had to issue an apology, in which he said, "Hey everyone, thank you for your patience during server maintenance. We deployed 3 rapid fixes." Same thing where they're checking about the rate limiter and such. But here's the thing with that they ended up doing that I thought was completely moronic, absolutely idiotic. And I don't know why Arrowhead decided to do this, but this is the message from Helldivers 2 from Deputy Game Director Sagar Baroshi about the upcoming weekend. Hey, it's a weekend. That's a lot of people going to want to play. Sagar here, Deputy Games Director of Helldivers 2. We're aware of the problems that cause some players' rewards not to be paid out properly at the end of missions. We're working to fix this, but in the meantime, we want to try and alleviate the impact as we head into the weekend. Therefore, from now until the end of Sunday, February 18th, the game will grant players XP and requisition bonuses at a 50% multiplier on top of your base mission score. You can tell this additional multiplier is active when you see the game Master Effect label accounting corrections while on the Super Destroyer. Many thanks for your patience and support for the glorious cascade of memes you've been sharing. Now back down there at Helldivers and defend your territory going against the Automaton Incursion. Well, this is sort of standard fare for a live service game to, like, oh, hey, we messed up, but you know what? We're going to give you a bonus XP. We're going to give you some super credits. Actually, super credits probably would have been a much smarter idea, but the thing is, your servers have not worked since the release of your game. Why are you going to have an event that encourages more people to play on your servers during the weekend, the busiest time of for like any game to be played, when people are actually off work, they're going to be playing? You're encouraging them to play more. And it, of course, had the exact effect that anyone that could like think 5 seconds into the future would have, which is, here's Helldivers' official Twitter. Despite our best efforts to increase server capacity to accommodate all of you who want to dive for freedom, we're experiencing capacity issues, which we are once more working without delay to improve the issues, and we hope we have a fix in place as soon as possible. This is from February 17th at, 4:30. So, everybody flooded their servers, and, it hasn't. You have to, like, wait, like, 30 minutes, try and, like, log back in to get into the game. It's been awful. As far as how well it works, matchmaking isn't working. It's a fun game to play with other people. Like, if you get your friends in, you can match with friends pretty easily. And I played with my brothers on Friday night. Basically, the XP wasn't showing up properly. You weren't able to buy anything because those systems are offline. But you could still at least play the game. So, and the game is fun. And that's the reason. Thank God, I guess, for a game maker, at the end of the day, if your game's fun, people are going to actually, forgive your. And this game is actually really fun. So, people are actually going to forgive this level of incompetence from their server maintenance. And I guess you could say, like, hey, people will think, like, all right, wow, they're just doing so well, like, that no one expected this. And, of course, this is something that will be resolved. It's not like, you can't make, like, a bad game good in a quick level of time, but you could, make a good game that have better server capacity as either A, people stop playing it, the sort of people that try it, just have fun with it for a few hours and drop it. Eventually, the concurrent player base will go down as the sort of hype goes off of it, and the game itself will be playable in a smoother way. Yep, they did good the same thing when Dio Dark Age of Camelot came out. I couldn't even get a copy on the opening weekend. It was in beta for months. Silver Bishop saying live service nonsense are always single player offline games. Yeah, are always less than. Yeah, a lot of people have been like, hey, just let me play single player or something. Or like have like a peer-to-peer so you can just play with friends. It's a good problem to have, but yeah. See, even Redditors who, like, the Helldivers Reddit, which is like super, like, going really hard on a slob and a Arrowhead's knob. Even this is getting upvoted. Arrowhead shouldn't be immune from criticism. First off, this is by Relax Cab 23. That's such a Reddit avatar. What is it, like a hijab or something with some gay stuff on it? All right. First off, anyone being hateful and sending death threats can go pound sand. With that being said, I've seen plenty of people on the sub getting downvoted and shouted into oblivion for daring to criticize the studio, even if they're being respectful. I love this game, but I'm sure, as we all do, and I respect the hell out of the studio for busting their asses to fix what they can fix as fast as they can. I respect them even more for being active and communicating with. But, big but here, something about this game is constantly broken. Either the matchmaking doesn't work, or the servers are full, or the game crashes right as you're about to finish a 40-minute mission. You can't buy ship modules or stratagems, so I was having that on Friday, and we get no rewards for completing missions even during bonus XP weekend. We can't even log into the damn game to play it. I understand game development, especially in a live setting, is hard. No one said it's easy, but that's what we get. But that's what we pay for. We pay them for the hard work of developing a functional game. They took our money and so far have not delivered it. They're busting their asses trying to fix it, which again I respect, but this does not excuse the fact that we forked over our money and can't enjoy the product we paid for. All that said, the game's amazing. When it works, I will wait for it to be functional. Until then, hard work doesn't excuse them for criticism for dropping the ball this hard. Even people on Reddit are upset. And that it's true. Like, the game is a lot of fun. But the game has not worked smoothly. Like you're just waiting. You know there's a game there that's super fun, but anytime you've tried to log on, either you got constant login issues, some part of the game isn't working. Like your level isn't showing up. You can't buy any sort of upgrades. The upgrades, the rewards aren't showing up, or like they'll show up later. So you have no idea like how much stuff you're earning, or what you could buy if you could buy it. It's just, again, like it's just been so buggy so far. It's like, wow, this game would be so awesome if only it was working. I never had the problem on Halo 3 Durf Ball Weekend. I don't know what that is. We move on. This is what it's been kind of interesting to see some of the talk around it, especially when people comparing it to other live service games. Because as far as it goes with live service, there actually been one of the probably the I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like most generous use of monetization so far, where you can get the you can get the super credits, their premium currency, in game, and you can earn them at a pretty fast rate if you set off to farm them. But this is from VGC News. This is by Andy Robinson. Helldiver devs said games need to earn the right to monetize. Arrowhead discusses how it balances its in-game transactions. The CEO of Helldivers 2 developer Arrowhead has discussed the design of the game's in-game transactions and how it believes titles with such micropayments need to earn the right to monetize. The PlayStation Studios PvE shooter launched on PS5 last weekend. It's already amassed 14,000 players, making it by far PlayStation's most successful launch of Steam. One of the areas garnered a lot of discussion has been microtransactions. It's a $40 game. It also, I think, has like a premium version. Includes rotating cosmetics, which each set of armor costs between $2 to $5. So it's pretty cheap. They can also earn the virtual in-game influences, and then respond to a fan on X who praised Helldivers' post-monetization. John Pistol wrote, "You have to earn the right to monetize. I truly believe that. If people want to support this title, they have the option, but we aren't forcing anyone to do so." So, other posts who discussed how the team in-game balance tried to avoid the pay-to-win. In response, fans noticed that the Game Pass's content can be purchased via currency collected during gameplay. Personally, we really applied ourselves not to make it pay to win, even though items are functionally different. The only items that are P to win is the revolver, which you will win any cool gun competition. Only minor problem is it's not that good. So with Helldivers, and I think they do have a pretty good monetization system where they have like a season pass that isn't really a season pass. It lasts for as long as you want. And they have like a premium season pass, which has like a different tree you can go down, and you kind of use medals, which you get for completing missions, and you can collect if you like go to different spots and note. You can collect those things, and then you use those medals to purchase stuff in the passes, and you can unlock the premium pass with like $10 worth of super credits. And there also is a super store with certain exclusive armor, but the armor gives like small benefits, but it's nothing huge. And you can usually find something that's kind of equivalent in the free pass eventually, or in the premium pass. And you can actually, like I said, you can earn the super credits, which is their premium money or whatever currency, through playing the game, doing certain things like searching the map to find these downed ships. So you can earn, and like some people like come up with like, like 200 credit an hour, super credit an hour farms. So you can earn $2 of super credits just playing the game an hour, which could be fun, especially I think with multiple people. Usually, if you're playing like a 4-person thing, you can spread across the map, do different objectives, try and find it, and everyone gets that money. So it actually has been very, very generous. You don't really feel. Haven't felt the need yet to actually shell out any additional money. I mean, because it is a $40 game, so you already paid to play the game. So having on top of it, like, hey, here's $10, you get paid $10 for this skin or that kind of crap, would be very annoying. And I think Helldivers has actually earned a lot of goodwill by, especially considering, and they need goodwill considering just how bad the servers have been running. So I think it definitely helps to show that they weren't trying to like kind of like, you can kind of sense when companies are doing it when they've really set up the game to push you into paying for microtransactions, and a lot of companies do that. You can see the typical kind of stuff like, here's some FOMO, and they do kind of do the FOMO thing where it's a rotating store, so you only have a certain amount of time where the armor will be available. But I don't think that it's where like this will never be released again, or it'll take like an hour, or like it'll be, not an hour, but it'll be months before it comes back. Whereas like advertised as like new stuff, or like when you get in the game and like there's this big banner in it, in like one of the corners, like, oh, check out this new stuff. You haven't seen that in the game, and that's a good thing. Like, some of the free to play, which I mean, some of the free to play stuff too, but at least with free to play, you're not paying any money up front. But I mean, speaking of Suicide Squad, as I think it was JBB that mentioned it. I was looking up the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League charts. Its all-time peak was basically like 13,500, pretty close there, and it hit that. This is 7 days. And then in the weekend, it's slowly been. I think this was a maintenance. But as you can see, at one point dipping below 1,000 players. Oh, going at a business sale, and it's up to 5 years. Look at that. And like peaking at almost like 2,000. 21, 2,200. I think this is kind of like the weekend. And then dipping down to 1,123. Ouch. Absolutely ouch. Let me see if I can Steam charts. Let me see if, just for comparison. Let's see if we can find it. Here. A tale of two video games here. There's a Helldivers. Let's see, we're at 263,000. A little bit more. 326,000. 300,000. You know, its low is just below 200,000. And it's dipping up. Incredible. Absolutely insane. And one person isn't happy about it not being on Xbox. Phil Spencer, who's been talking lately about bringing Xbox all over the place, Xbox games all over the place. But a flurry of Xbox news today. CEO Phil Spencer confirmed that 4 exclusives are headed to other platforms. He's, however, not expecting other companies to take the same approach. In an interview with Stefan Toledo's GameFile newsletter, this is by Alex Stedman. This is on IGN. Sony's first simulation PC release was touching on the subject. I will say, when I look at a game like Helldivers 2, it's a great game. Kudos to the team for shipping on PC and PlayStation. I'm not exactly sure who it helps in the industry by not being on Xbox. If you try to twist yourself to say somehow that benefited somebody somewhere. Still, Spencer relents a bit that I get it. There's a legacy in console gaming that we're going to benefit by shipping games and not putting them in other places. We do the same thing. So, Phil Spencer, now they're bringing other stuff, they're exclusives to other screens, and he's kind of been like, hey, why not bring Helldivers over here to the Xbox? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But I guess he's not expecting Sony to get right on it to bring it over and help them out. So I don't know. I still don't get, is Xbox and PC different? They're both owned by Microsoft. I guess Steam is getting a big cut. So maybe that's what they're trying to avoid with the consoles. Hey, Jack Napier, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you, my man. But yeah. But that's it for the sort of Helldivers news. It's been like I said, it's a blast of a game. Like, if you want to play a fun game with some other people, especially if you got some other people that play it, it is a good, when it works, it's great. And I'm confident it's going to get better because I think the server issues are something they can fix with just by throwing money at it. But, the design is good. So the game itself is good. It's just they need to get their technical shit together. And it'll be even better when you can actually play it as a smooth experience. But this is a game I didn't play, and many others didn't play. But I kind of saw this on Twitter, and I wanted to look into it. This is from Games Radar. You're talking about making bad games. I like how you see Helldivers advertisements everywhere here, even on the side. This is from Games Radar by Jordan Gerblick. EA flop Immortals of Avium. Have you heard of Immortals of Avium? I haven't. I never even heard about it. Reportedly costs around $25 million, Formadev says. A AAA single-player shooter in today's market was a truly awful idea. This is what the former dev says. It's because it was a AAA single-player shooter. It was the reason it was awful. Xbox rhymes very well with Trexbox, which means trash box in Germany. Yikes. Xbox. Getting massive hate. They're not doing well, though. A news report reportedly shed some light on how much EA invested in its single-player FPS, Immortals of Avium, which received mixed reviews and was deemed a financial flop. Immortals of Avium launched 2023 and missed one of the busiest years in game release history, bookended by behemoths like Diablo 4, Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3. Ascendant Studios' self-called Call of Duty with Magic experience was compelling enough And I personally think it deserved more attention, but it missed EA's expectations by enough of the margin that 40% of the studio's workforce was laid off shortly after release. The studio, Brett Robinson, has gone on record to blame Mortal's poor sales last year, extraordinarily busy calendar, but an anonymous former spoke to IGN, said it's actually the concept of the game itself and its sizable budget were both fundamentally mistakes and ultimately doomed the project. All right, so let's see what he thinks it is. On a high level, Mortals was massively over scope for the studio's debut project. Former employee said development costs were around $85 million, not cheap. And EA kicked in $40 million for marketing and distribution. Sure, there was some serious talent on the team by trying to make a serious talent. Well, we'll look at that later. But trying to make a AAA shooter in today's market was surely an awful idea, especially with a new IP. That's while also trying to leverage Unreal 5 engine. End up with a bloated, repetitive campaign that was far too long. Whatever the reason, didn't succeed. Still, at Ascendant told IGN there was a potential in Mortals old school approach, but it failed to find an audience regardless. Not a sequel or remake. It doesn't take 400 hours to beat. Has 0 microtransactions, no pointless open world grinding. Although not everyone loved it, it was reviewed pretty well. Currently sitting at 74 on OpenCritic. Mostly positive on Steam. No one bought it. Well, you know how like games like Palworld, have like this like crazy word of mouth kind of marketing. People are just saying, "Hey, you got to try this. You got to play this." Well, let's take a look. I was wondering, like, what could be about this? I mean, first of all, I see this, I'm like, this doesn't look like it's games for me. But let's take a look at their official release here. Let's go to theater mode and play this great. Let's see what the trailer's about here. First off, this I don't see the appeal of this screen right here. It's here's a giant world with a bunch of glowy shit.
This is AVM.
Super RGB
Since
magic.
we first learned to use magic, we've waged war over who would control it. Now, only Lucium remains to resist the tyrant of Rasharn. Sandrak will eventually be able to block our access to magic. Then the Everwar is...
This has to be an actress. I don't know who, but this is like an actual actress. I don't know why they keep doing this. I'm sure it is. Like, if anyone can tell me who it is, please let me know in the comments. But I swear I've seen this person's face in multiple shit.
Over? As in he takes over Lucium?
As in, he takes over
everything. Whoa. I don't get the design with the RGB colors. It doesn't look that good. She was in Firefly.
There's a name for what you are.
A Magnus. I want to be an immortal. I want to fight this war as one of you, one of the elite.
I believe in you. She definitely thinks you're going to die.
Oh, God, like, who writes... Do you see this writing? Like, hold on, let me go back here. Like,
I believe in you. She definitely thinks you're going to die. That's why her face looks like that.
Yeah. Super cool. Super masculine lady. It's Gina Torres, okay.
You walk towards your doom.
Doom and I are old friends.
Oh, great one-liner. Thank you. Thank you, lady. Doom and I are old friends.
Your sigil will help you focus your magic. prevent it from killing you. I found a child whose new powers could make them a threat to the kingdom I protect. The choice was to either kill you or turn you into a weapon against Rasharn.
Back up. Option A was to kill me?
Yep. That's a high note to end on for their trailer. But wait a second, back up. You gonna kill me? Yikes. I don't know who they get to write these video games. This is the serious talent you guys were talking about. Or they were talking about earlier. The serious talent that they had working on this, but I mean after watching this trailer, I can kind of see why they didn't do too well, or why it didn't seem to gain a lot of traction with the general audience. By the way, let's oh wait, shoot. Did I prep that? I think this is where I had give me 1 second. I wanted to show the let's see. I wanted to show a different trailer to kind of juxtapose a different video, juxtapose how two games have a different level of appeal here. Let's see. Helldiver. Here we go. Let's get this. Oh, is this actually gonna... Oh, this isn't gonna play. Damn it. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Unfortunately, when I record stuff, like I do it in different audio levels, so it only try and... Let's see. Helldivers. 1 second, please. Please stand by. Opening. Here we go. Opening. Here we go. Let's compare this to this. We'll compare these two. This is the opening to Helldivers. Their intro cinematic.
Super Earth. Our home. Prosperity. Liberty.
Hi there.
Democracy. Our way of life.
Oh, hello.
But freedom doesn't come free.
No! Sweet liberty! No! Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers.
Become part of an elite peacekeeping force!
See exotic new life forms.
And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy.
Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Oh, look at that. There we go. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver. It's like supposed to be like I said, it kind of it does a really good job at showing off the sort of like satirical, very much like I guess Star Troopers. There's been like a giant, I keep seeing on Twitter this giant discourse that is a parody and not a satire, but I won't go into that. But it kind of shows you like kind of like a goofy, but at the same time pretty cool, as basically, hey, become this guy that goes down and kills stuff and has fun. It's like dudes messing around, shooting stuff, killing aliens. That's all you need to do. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, like a propaganda film for the Helldivers.
Become a hero. Become a legend.
Well, wait, you were gonna kill me?
Back up.
Back
Option
up.
A was to kill me?
What? Kill me? I don't know exactly what this writing is, but like it reminds me of that Forsaken or kind of thing, where it's like very aware, like, whoa, did you just say you're gonna kill me? I don't exactly know what it is, but I keep seeing it in like every stupid movie. Like it's like Marvel style like writing. And it makes me want to vomit. So, I mean, yeah, as Santiago said, it's because it's single player. I might buy it once in the bin. Yeah, hell, if it goes to like $10, $5, I might as well just give it a try. It might be fun. You never know with the gameplay, but like, is this supposed to sell anybody on this game? It's that Forspoken crap. That other game, but let's move on. Definitely, I think this definitely was more effective at drawing people in, at least the general male audience, into playing the game, which is who's going to be your primary audience. So, good job on them. But let's move on to some other gaming news. This is a rumor from My Nintendo News by Sicker. You can always tell when it's a little more of a different site instead of like an actual name. It just is like a guy. Sicker is the guy that's writing this. Switch 2 has a physical and digital backwards compatibility. Well, I didn't know it's digital. And original games can be enhanced. Whoa, this is a new rumor. I was doing the rounds from a PH Brazil regarding the Switch 2. Content creator claims that an system will have backwards compatibility by both digital, physical, and digitally, which would be insane if it did. Like, hey, you can keep your digital catalog for Switch, meaning that you'll be able to play your original Switch cartridges and digital downloads on the new system. You could also go on current and say that current Nintendo Switch games can be enhanced if developers choose to update the game for a newer system. As always, this is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. That could be big, and I think it would definitely be smart of Nintendo to do if they really want to get people to kind of buy their new console. If you remember last week, Nintendo president, I don't think it was the president or the CEO, was saying that there's always a big risk with transitioning to a new console between two of these consoles, because even if the Switch does really well, trying to get people to convert over to a new system, you're going to end up losing some people. That some people aren't going to buy the new system, so that you always have to earn it again. The extra, especially if they're asking for like $400, you're gonna have to earn that $400. Well, if they actually do add physical and digital backwards compatibility, at the very least, the enhancing thing seems kind of crazy, but maybe. But basically saying, hey, you're still gonna be able to play all your old stuff on this new system. So you instantly have a catalog of a back catalog, a huge back catalog of games that you can people can buy, and people that already own the Switch, I can still play my old games. That's awesome. Like, now I can upgrade to the Switch 2 and not have to worry about it. You only need to own one console to enjoy all the Switch games. So this could be a great way to sell it. Maybe someone's old Switch isn't working, has an exploded battery. It's kind of at the end of its life. Why not buy a Switch 2, play all your old games? It's a good move, in my opinion, to have backwards compatibility, especially digital backwards compatibility. Would be crazy and pretty smart if they actually do it. But there's some more bad news. Another rumor. Nintendo Switch 2 reportedly delayed to the early months of 2025. No. Plan was to originally release the new Switch in late 2024, but it may have now changed. More rumors. This is from IGN by Adam Bankhurst. While many have been expecting and hoping for the Switch 2 to arrive later this year, new reports suggested the much-anticipated console has been delayed until the early months of 2025, which would be pretty bad because you're missing Christmas. As reported, Bloomberg, VGC, Eurogamer sources claim Nintendo have been telling game publishers that the Switch 2 was originally planned to release at the end of 2024, but now it's expected to slip to March 2025 at the earliest. If it proves to be true, it will be an interesting year in the original Switch, which recently passed almost 140 million units sold. Tons of good stuff on the first party front. Last two games are anything to go by. It's got to be a big year for remakes and remasters. They keep going down, but yeah, if it being delayed to March 2025 at the earliest, probably means it's going to be summer. And yeah, missing Christmas is big. So there must have been something pretty bad, or definitely something critical missing, and to make it delayed. It's not something Nintendo usually isn't a company that likes to delay stuff, or is a company that will definitely delay things a lot when it sees the need. It's never shy about doing it. But missing Q4 is huge for sales. But maybe this for the best though. Maybe release it. You start the release, kind of like on the off, summer, kind of off season, and then hopefully maybe you get people that initial like super fans buying it, and then you could kind of like ramp up supply to meet Q4 demands. I know a lot of people complaining. Actually, this is kind of it was this, where it's like PS5 entering the latter cycles of its life, Sony says, where it's like people are saying like, yeah, you couldn't even buy a PlayStation 5. Supply chain issues. John Watts said, true story, Dave's thumb is scarred because he keeps lighting it on fire. I don't light my thumb on fire, but that's pretty funny. Yeah, that probably could definitely be supply chain issues. Something's going on there. I'm sure they didn't want to miss that Christmas, but maybe it'll work out. Because lately console launches, especially like Switch 2, PlayStation 5, had huge supply chain issues where you could not get it, and then you got to deal with scalping and all that crap. It's just not worth it. But we're moving on. We're talking about Microsoft now. They had this big sort of business announcement. Microsoft. This is from TheVerge.com by Andrew Webster. Microsoft slowly building to a future where every screen is an Xbox. That's a kind of a creepy imagery. All your screens are Xbox now. Taking on their own, today's gaming announcements from Microsoft might not seem all that earth-shattering. A handful of unspecified Xbox games are coming to rival platforms. The subscriber names for Game Pass have grown. Diablo 4 will lead the rush of Activision Blizzard titles on Game Pass, and more hardware is still on the way, including a powerful next-gen console and possibly a handheld. Ooh. Xbox trying to get in the handheld market now. Going to church, all right. Enjoy, John Watts. See you later. But they all point to the future where that Microsoft has been shy about making Xbox into more than just a console. An internal memo for employees, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer explained the strategy like this. We have a different vision for the future of gaming, a future where players have unified experience across devices, a future where players can easily discover a vast array of games with a diverse spectrum of business models. Futures where more creators are empowered to realize their creative vision, reach a global audience, unite their communities, and succeed commercially. A future where every screen is an Xbox. Whoa. Every screen's an Xbox. It's a bold idea. And then interview with The Verge, Spencer said Xbox is our gaming platform and content business. Notably, he did not use the word console. Instead, Xbox is an idea. It's an idea, not a console. A platform that spans multiple fronts, and now PC. So it does look like Xbox console, let's be honest, hasn't been doing all that well. But Microsoft has been trying to buy up a lot of software companies. It owns Microsoft. Activision Blizzard was their big buy recently. So they've got a lot of software, got a lot of games. These games cost a ton of money. So now it's not like just trying to use Xbox, just putting them all on Xbox and trying to force people to buy an Xbox to play them just isn't. I guess they kind of figured out that that isn't going to work. Like, if we want these games to be successful, we need to make them available on PC. We need to make them maybe even on Sony PlayStation eventually. People have been saying stuff like Starfield is coming, and that might be down the line, but so far they haven't announced it yet. I don't even know if they've actually confirmed any of the titles like in stone, like some people saying Hi-Fi Rush and that kind of stuff, but we'll see. But it does look like Xbox is moving away from like exclusives onto something else. And it looks like PlayStation's too. It says the latter stage, PS5 is entering the latter stage of its life cycle. It didn't seem like it's that old, to be honest. This is from IGN by Wesleyan Poole. After sales of PlayStation 5 fell to meet expectations, Sony has said the console is entering the latter stages of its life cycle. Well, and like some people pointed out, like, how did the PlayStation 5 fail to meet expectations? Like, there wasn't any supply of them. Like, the first year or two, you couldn't even get them. Set an ambitious target of 25 million PS5 sold during the current financial year, ending March 31st, 2025. Now revised forecast down to 21 million of PlayStation 5 sales during the crucial holiday 2023. Came in lower than expected despite aggressive promotions. So not everybody is. Hey, later JWB. Did not meet the goal. PlayStation 5 launched December 2023 at the height of the pandemic. Sold 27 million in just over 3 years. It turns out to be 4 years old. So I guess, is it really that old? Man. I guess it is. One game that may be set for launch PX6 is Hideo Kojima's Action Espionage. I don't know how you pronounce it. Ficent? But whatever. But just Sony basically saying that, let's go in. This is the Sony president, Hiro Chidoki. Says, this is from Genki JP. Wants to go aggressive in improving the margins by growing first-party with multi-platform. In the past, we wanted to popularize console, first-party titles, main purpose to make consoles popular. It's true, but there is a synergy to it. So if you have a strong first-party content, not only with our console, but also with platforms like computers, first-party can grow with multi-platform and can help operating profit to improve. So that is another way we want to practically work on it. I personally think there are opportunities out there for improvement of margins, so I would like to go aggressive in improving our margin performance. So Sony is basically saying we need to we can go multi-platform, we can go to PC. It's not going to hurt our console sales. In fact, it's going to help improve our with our first-party stuff. It's going to improve the money we make, helping improve our operating budget or operating profit. So why not? Why not bring it to PC and make more money that way? I guess at this point they've kind of discovered that there's certain people that are going to buy a PS5. Let's not kind of leave the PC players hanging out to dry, because they're going to buy their games, and we're going to make more money, which seems like a win-win for everybody here from Hiroki Todoki. And I think Microsoft kind of learned the same thing, that you need both. So the age of exclusive is kind of crazy. The age of exclusive seems to be winding down as more and more players are going to, more and more companies are going to PC. And Steam is poised to reap the rewards. Speaking of Steam and PC, let's talk about Palworld. This game. Palworld. Is it Palworld in trouble? Is it dying? Palworld down 1.3 million players in Steam's biggest ever 2-week drop. Palworld loses over 31 million concurrent players since launch on Steam, making it the biggest 2-week drop off on the Valve platform. This is from PC Games N. Is that how you pronounce it? By Will Nelson. The Palworld concurrent Steam player count has already dropped a significant after launch, as Pocket Bear's take on the survival game genre could be starting to find its player rhythm. The concurrent peak has seen over 1.3 million players begin to step away from the game, while active player count still sits comfortably in the hundreds of thousands. 2 million players jumping in on Steam, 7 million on Game Pass, and then we could kind of see this this chart here as it kind of whoop. Damn, look at these. Look how big these peaks are. And it's sitting under, so it almost hit 2 million, but now it is down below 1 million at its peak. Crazy. So its 24-hour peak, its all-time peak was 2 million. Its current 24-hour peak, a little under 800,000. It is a single-player game, but you know, obviously, a lot of people are going to see that and think, "Whoa, Palworld is dying." But here's from IGN by Wesley Poole. Palworld has lost X% of its player base. Discourse is lazy, the dev says. New content will come, and it's going to be awesome. Palworld developer Palworld has commented on the debate about the declining number of people playing the game since launch, calling the discourse lazy. Taking to Twitter, Pocket Pair community manager Bucky, who's been the voice of Palworld's development team in the West, reflected on the game's first month, saying, since going on sale in early access form from across PC and Xbox in May 2023, I was convinced Palworld could break the 50,000 player mark, Bucky says. Anything above seemed unobtainable, though. I certainly never expected it to reach into the millions. It is taking years to get this point, and Palworld will only really begins from here. Everyone is working hard to fix the issues and prepare new content. And pals, some of you may have had your fun over the last 3 weeks and found yourself putting the game down. That is fine. Palworld's astonishing launch saw 21 million to Steam alone. And then, let's see, let me continue. Sentiment that Puck keeps keen to counter. This emerging Palworld has lost X% of its player base. Discourse is lazy, but it's probably also a good time to step in and reassure those of you who are capable of reading past the headline that it's fine to take breaks from the games. You don't need to feel bad about that. Palworld, like many games before it, isn't in a position to pump out massive amounts of new content on a weekly basis. New content will come, and it's going to be awesome, but these things take a little bit of time. There's so many amazing games out there free to play. You don't need to feel guilty about hopping from game to game. If you're still playing Palworld, we love you. If you're not playing Palworld, we still love you, and we hope you come back for round 2 when you're ready. Play lots of games, play different games, and frequently flick through indie libraries to find hidden gems. So, a pretty good response from Bucky, saying that, hey, people are going to put the game down. That's fine. Obviously, in any of these games, there's going to be a percentage drop off as the initial hype dies down. A lot of people will try a game, play it. Maybe they've already beaten a lot of the content on there. It's like, all right, I'm done with this game. The sort of novelties worn off, so they put it down. They stop playing something else. Maybe they'll play in Helldivers or some of their new game comes out, and they want to play that instead. That's perfectly fine. I do that a lot sometimes too. When I get obsessed with one game, I play the crap out of it, then I find something else eventually. But it is worth, I think, discussing that Palworld is a game that I think has potential to be played long term. It has online servers. You can set up online servers that you can play with friends, that you can kind of set up a community to play. Games like Minecraft have been lasting forever with, just slow content updates. But at the same time, I think Minecraft has a lot of kind of bigger chances for creativity. But there are definitely things that Palworld could do better that they really need to fix. I mean, first of all, I think their guild system sucks. If you want to play with other players, that's one of the keys to longevity, is being able to play with friends, play with other people. That sort of interaction and fun. You sort of create your own content as you're playing with other people. The guild system that requires you to share bases with other players. Like if you want to form a guild with like multiple people, you can only have at max level 3 bases. That's when I was shocked when I tried to do it with some of my family I was playing with. Like, oh, we can't you can't join my guild because we don't have enough available bases. Because he had a base and I had a base. So in order, like, one of us would have to destroy our base in order to play in a guild with each other. That's insane. It's just an absolutely crazy thing to do. Yeah, Palworld. Yeah, it's exactly. It's not the same game. How's it going, Dante? Good to see you. But they haven't done it, and I mean, too, on the server side, they can they need to set up ways to, like, trade Pokemon, trade items, have an economy. They're already planning on PvP. I think that's another good way to increase longevity, because you can kind of play and fight each other that owns different challenging. Their building system is really rudimentary right now and doesn't allow for a lot of creativity. They definitely need to improve that, because there's always that certain player that likes to build like cool, fun stuff. I think the bases themselves are a little limiting in like their space they allow. That definitely could be changed. And yeah, new content, that's a little bit harder, is definitely something that needs to legendaries and that kind of stuff, that needs to be improved. Of course, the bugs, like another thing that's really been annoying me personally, and one of the reasons I've like kind of slowed down is that, and even I was talking to one of my friends who was playing on my server, like one of the reasons he said he dropped the game because he was sick of like going in and like all his pals being sick, or because they bugged out, they stopped eating, the stuff decayed. They have like a food system where it like decays slowly, but if the pals aren't working and doing their stuff, they're not adding more berries or more stuff or like eating it, so it just slowly decays and does nothing, and it's basically just goes to waste. As like you get to higher levels, especially, like, one, all the bugs become worse because it's more challenging, and two, like, you need, as you want to scale up your game and production, as the tree goes up, which it's supposed to do, like it's standard game design. The problem is the automation doesn't work because the PAL AI sucks. So until they can kind of get that fixed, you can't really automate multiple bases, because the second you leave, all the PALs break and they do nothing. So Palworld definitely has a chance to have a good long-term game, but yeah, it definitely needs a lot of work. And it's still in early access. It's an indie company, so I think they'll do fine. Palworld definitely has a good base to become like a sort of franchise. I don't know why they have these images. Oh, it's like PAL comparisons. Good on them. And yeah, like I said, everything's going to lose a percentage player base. But I've got we got some spicy stuff now. Some spicy things, because I saw this on Kotaku, and this is guaranteed to ruffle some feathers here. A new report, this is from Kotaku, by Carolyn Patet. New report suggests that games industry is failing LGBTQ players. Oh no. Advocacy group GLAAD has run the numbers and they're not great. Uh-oh. I don't want to make fun of this article all that much, but I've known games representation in game matters ever since the day in 1997 when they finished Metroid and they saw Samus was a woman. My God, I hate representation in game discussion. It's so dumb. A report released today. Important statistics, guys. Important statistics. I think the real story here is just how a narrative is crafted by these companies working together. So we got GLAAD, which is a gay advocacy group. But this is because of most striking findings. Here it is: 17% of active gamers identify as LGBTQ. Now, when you hear this statistic, I think a smart person kind of looks at it like, that doesn't sound quite right. I mean, a lot of young people play video games, and a lot of them kind of like go through a phase where they're like, am I non-binary? That's kind of cool right now to do. But 17% identifies LGBTQ, and yet only a paltry 2% of games on major PC and console storefronts, PCN, Steam, Nintendo eShop are tagged as having LGBTQ content. So basically, they're saying 70% of players are gay. I'm just use gay as a short for LGBTQ because that's a mouthful. Or queer, maybe it's just use queer would be better. But and they're using that only 2% have tags specifically as LGBTQ as gay. So that's their thing. Like they basically more games just need to tag themselves as queer and they'll be happy, I guess. And then they try and look at this cool chart here. Agree. This is from their survey. I depend on video games to get me through tough times. And it's really only half. I was surprised. Like, I guess games aren't that important. Only half of them depend on video games to get me through tough times. And then, of course, we reside in states where anti-LGBTQ legislation has been passed or proposed. My state, great state of Florida, is in this. 65, it grows. Games, I guess they're trying to imply that games help gay kids not commit suicide. I guess that's why you're saving lives by making your games more queer. That's, I guess, the narrative they're trying to say. But we're not going into it. And then capitalist argument. Hey, look, so many gamers are gay. So why aren't you making games gayer, guys? You're throwing money away by not making this gay, is what they're trying to say. But let's go over to GLAAD's website here, and let's look at their methodology to get this game. So they partnered with Nielsen, which is supposed to be provide stats for game companies. Well, a custom portion of the survey. Nielsen is a global leader in audience measurement data, and gaming team was formed in 2005 to provide exclusive market research and consumer insights across physical and digital platforms and hardware, with comprehensive metrics including awareness and resonance over time. Provides priority ratings to help understand gamers' preference and demographics. And here's the big thing. Here's something that they don't mention, which I find very, very odd. Nielsen fielded a 10-minute survey among active PC and console gamers in the United States with a boost sample of LGBTQ plus gamers to help GLAAD better understand the relationship between LGBTQ community and the game industry in terms of representation, harassment, and overall attitudes and behaviors. So what I don't get, they're trying to say, and this is, maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand this, but they're saying 17% are gay, but only, but they had this boosted sample. They admit that they boosted the sample for LGBTQ gamers. So wouldn't that mean that they specifically targeted these gamers, and now they're going to use the fact that they boosted it to say 17% are gay? So to me, just reading this, that means the survey is complete crap. That number, 17% number, is complete garbage, because they admit that they stack the people they survey to be LGBTQ or queer, gay, whatever. I can't say this fucking acronym over and over again. The study was fielded by Nielsen between June and August of 2023. And then, so this whole thing kind of shows you that the number's crap, that they specifically skewed it to be queer survey questionnaires. And when you go down to acknowledgments too, when you're talking about Nielsen, they're reliable, right? Nielsen's trusted. You've heard of Nielsen. And then special thanks to Nielsen's game team. And they specifically mentioned Stacy DeAmbres and Patricia Radalongi, whatever. And then I tried to look up, who are these people? And this goes down to Nielsen. Stacy DeAmbres is the Diverse Insights and Initiatives lady. And this Patricia is the VP Communications, part of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Good old DEI. So Nielsen, GLAAD specifically acknowledging their DEI folks over in Nielsen. So essentially, it seems to me that GLAAD goes out, they talk to Nielsen, hey, give us a skewed statistic that we can use to browbeat developers to say they need to be gayer. Games need to be more gay. Their DEI folks over at Nielsen help get them those numbers that they can use. And then, of course, let me just type into Google. 1 in 17. By the way, 17% isn't 1 in 5, but you're rounding up. 5 gamers are gay. Let's just put that into Google. Let's take a look here. Let's and then so they get this bogus statistics, and what happens here? Oh, first off, we have The Hill. 1 in 5 gamers identifies LGBTQ. VentureBeat, Them and Us, which I think is specifically gay. The Gamer, whoa, and over fast face harassment. New GLAAD report. Yahoo, new GLAAD report. New York Times, 70%, and then it just goes on and on. Oh, The Hill, gaming, man. I'm glad there's something called gaming, and then every reporter picks it up and they just run with it. 1 in 5, 20%, 17%, or whatever they want to say. At least New York Times says 70% instead of 1 in 5. 1 in 5 gamers are gay. Why aren't you making your games gayer, guys? Every major news organization runs with this. And then, sort of like New York Times, these trusted news orgs just take the stats as gospel, and then they throw them out there. GLAAD said this, and they've got Nielsen. Nielsen's a trusted. Look at how trusted these people are to give you factual information about gamers. It's just science, guys. Believe it. And that is something that I thought was interesting. Of course, this is typical narrative they keep pushing in movies and everywhere else. And of course, games too. They want to try and make them more inclusive, more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. And it's so funny to sort of see that you get a company like Nielsen. GLAAD wants them to make a bogus survey. They do. These guys do. Hey, here's our bogus numbers that we sampled a larger percentage of gay people for, and then you get to say. They get to go say, hey, 70% are gay, and then every single journalist decides, hey, let's run with it and say 1 in 5 gamers are LGBTQ. 1, of course, they are not. And then, of course, the sad thing is that a bunch of they'll use that. Either A, developers will use that because I think you said 1 in 5 devs were LGBTQ, and in the West, I might believe you, but they'll use that to kind of like, hey, we gotta push this stuff. We gotta make more LGBT games. It's good for business. And of course, games just get worse as they start trying to appeal to a different audience than sort of men, which is heterosexual men are basically the biggest demographic. And the more you get away from appealing to them, the worse the games tend to get. And I think there was a survey somewhere in here, a statistic I thought I read somewhere in this. This might be over here, that tried to say that most people don't care. 30%. Yeah, like stuff like this, like 70% of LGBT gamers and 40% of non-LGBT gamers are less likely to buy or play a game if it contains a harmful tropes or stereotypes. Sure, I'm sure that's true. There was also something here. To play as their own gender. LGBT care about being able to play as their own gender. Sure, I'm sure they do. Wish there were probably LGBT storylines. I thought there was a task to say that people don't mind if there's stuff in it. But I can't. I don't know if I can find it. I didn't prepare it, but that's all right. that's just what I wanted to go into. It kind of shows you just how they build their sort of narratives around this stuff. So you'll probably be seeing this so when you hear the 1 in 5 statistic, you'll know that it's crap. So just helping you out. I think that's where let's just end it on something else. This was from Game Banana. This was kind of like a little thing. They removed a mod, the Busty Yukari mod. So this is a mod that's designed to make her, a little bit, give her a little bit extra there in the chest. Game Banana decided to remove it, and then they responded to this article from PC Focus. Said the mod violates our rules on indecent contact with the character is known to be a minor. See the specific rule in red. Person real or animated that is indistinguishable. Yeah. So they're underage, so you can't make sexual mods about it. Of course, it only took people like 5 seconds. I mean, first of all, people pointed out that the game has stuff like this in it. It's a Japanese game that kind of anime style that obviously has this kind of stuff. This is pretty typical for like these type of games. The girls are a big part of Persona because, like, I guess you can date them. I haven't played a Persona game to be honest, but they clearly like use them to appeal to their male audience. And of course, talking about Game Banana, people found instantly. It took them like 50 seconds to find that there are plenty of games that have like remove the clothes off against an impact characters that are canonically underage, like 16-year-olds. I'm not going to scroll down because they're actually like nude mods as well. So Game Banana clearly cherry picking their stuff that they want to have on it. And it's weird to see it because I think I saw a different like Twitter thread where like some woman brought up that it was sick that they were having mods that sexualize people. Sexualize these underage women, that typical like shaming that they like to do. And Game Banana just like, oh, we got to remove it. It violates our rules, but they clearly keep up stuff that does violate this rule. So very picky. They pick and choose which ones they want to do. And let's just end this by this was kind of a sad. Hey Marty, how's it going? Kind of a sad thing. Hollow Knight. I saw this recently. Hollow Knight Silksong was announced 5 years ago. Good old Silksong. Will it ever come out? Vote in the comments. Who knows? I'm looking forward to. I would still play it if it comes out, but who the hell knows if it's going to? Team Cherry. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. I already got 6 likes. Hell yeah. We're doing really well on the videos. We were probably going to get to monetization. I thought we might get to it by this time today, but it seems like next week it's going to be will be the time. But that's it's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Goodbye.